Hello, thank you for tuning into my channel. It's time to start the Trip Around the World quilt, and we get to make a strip set. So if you want to see how I put together a strip set like this, please stay tuned. I'm very excited to start the process about this Trip Around the World quilt. I have been kind of trying to figure out something that I can do. I've kind of been in a rut, and so I'm happy that I get to start this project today. Hopefully I'll work on it and put a video out every couple weeks for the Trip Around the World, but we'll just see how it works out. Okay, so I've pulled some 2.5-inch strips. If you saw my previous video, which I will link in the cards and in the description box, you've already seen some of these fabrics, but maybe now you can get a little a close-up of them. So these were these dark blues and these neutrals are from the jelly roll that I got. It's called Sashiko, and so I just kind of do a little twirl through. So it's this darker blue and then a little bit lighter, and then it goes through to this like a denim looking color. Okay, so, and it's all these different patterns. It's very cool. When I counted these out, there were 22 of the dark blue strips, and then for the lights, I actually didn't get that many, but I'll kind of go through them so you can see them. I really like them. I like the fabric line a lot, and there were a few that didn't make the cut. But since I'll show you those in a minute. Since I only had a few of these, I pulled a few from my stash, and I probably am going to have to cut some more. So this is one that I pulled from my stash. Here's another one, and I have some 2.5-inch strips like separated by dark and light that I pulled these from, and there are a couple more, but I'm sure I'm going to have to make, I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to make a few more of these lights to go along with this quilt. And then from the yellows, this is from a jelly roll pack that I have called Sunny Side Up. And I bought 2 of these, and each one of these has 20 strips, or no, 24 strips. So, so there are lots of different colors. I'll just kind of go through, but they're basically tone on tone, a few different patterns, some speckles, some watercolor looking prints, and stuff like that. So we can see the variation in the yellow. So hopefully they're going to be a nice addition to these, and like even right now they look very cool together. I have a few fabrics that I pulled out that I didn't feel like made the cut. Well, actually this one I am going to use. It's dark for a light, but the background is light, so I'm going to use these also as my lights. I pulled some of these dark blues, and I'm choosing not to use them, and hopefully you can see that they just have a lot of light in them, a lot of the beige, and so I'm going to pull these out and put them with my other 2.5-inch strips. I probably could use them, but since I have so many of these, I'm not going to worry about it. And then from my yellows, I actually pulled out this one because in my opinion, it's too light for the quilt. Like next to these, it looks too light. So I'm not going to use this one. It gets to go away and be stored for another project. Okay. Now for the Trip Around the World quilt, what I'm going to do is make strip sets. And I haven't really made a strip set quilt since my Bargello quilts. There are 2 of those, the Heartbeat Bargello quilts, the pattern that I wrote. I'll link that pattern in my in the description, and I think I'll put a couple pictures of those quilts here so that you can see them. They were made with a strip set, so basically the same technique, but for that quilt, the strip sets were 14 fabrics long. For this one, I'm only choosing to do 7 fabrics. And I think my understanding of making the Trip Around the World quilt this way is that you need to have an odd number of blocks, so or number of strips for your strip set. So it really doesn't matter what number you pick. I think you can pick whatever number you want, but it needs to be odd for this to work out. This is my first time making it. That's just what I heard. We're going to explore this together. Now, for the first thing that I get to do, I need to decide the order of the strip sets that, or the strips that I want to put in the set. I kind of have a piece behind me. I've started a strip set. Actually, I've started 2 strip sets, but I want to show you some of the ones that I decided against. And I have a collage. I think I'll put a picture of the collage here so you can see there are 3 different ways that I set it up. The way that I've chosen to do it is, I'm going to put it up here on the board so that you can see it. Let's see, move these. And I hope I remember the order. So what I'm doing, I'm just going to pull some random strips, and that's going to create my strip set. I don't think it matters what fabrics, because in the end, these blocks are going to be all spread out throughout the quilt, so you won't see, hopefully you won't see too many of one type of block, and it's going to hopefully look so scrappy that you won't be able to tell. So I'm going to start with a blue strip, then I'm adding a yellow, okay, then white or neutral, and I'm a little nervous about trying this one, but I think I'm going to do it anyway. There we go. And then another blue. Just picking from what's here. Okay. And that same pattern repeated. So it's going to be blue, yellow, white, blue, yellow, white, blue. So blue, yellow, white, blue, and then 3 more. So a yellow, and I'm just randomly pulling from the stack here. Then another neutral. Okay, and last a blue. Okay, so I'm not sure how this looks on camera, but as I said, I tried a couple of other combinations, and I tried having the 2 neutrals next to the blue, and I didn't really like that as much, and I thought I would like having the 2 yellows next to that center blue, and for me that didn't work as well either. So I like having blue and yellow together in both of these. All right, so I'm going to move these pieces out of the way. And then all I'm going to do is make the strip set. There may be a few little pointers that we need here and there, so I will pass those along as we work. Let's start with just the first 2. And oh, I forgot about this. If you're using different strip sets, like from different brands, measure them and make sure that they kind of match up, or that so you know if you have peaked edges versus not peaked edges, how it's going to work. What I did with these is I just kind of lined them up because I thought I was going to have to cut off some, but hopefully you can see this here. When I line these up, I can see that the pinked edges fall inside of the bottom fabric, and so I'm just going to use the bottom fabric to line up my 1/4 inch. And that's it. So this first step is just going to be to stitch a 1/4 inch along the side of this, and I'm actually going to chain piece these, so I'll do a couple of these at a time, but I'll focus on this strip set so that you can see it all come together. So let me stitch this and I'll be right back. pieces stitched together here. Now the big key for the strip set quilting, in my opinion, is how to press the seams so that they nest and you don't have to worry about that. Again, this is my first time making the trip around the world, so I'm just going to go with my instinct. I'm going to choose a set of fabrics to press to, and in my case, I'm going to press towards the odd fabrics. And so my first fabric is this blue, and so I'm going to finger press toward the blue. So I have the yellow on the bottom, and I'm going to open out the seam and then just kind of press it down with my fingernail, and then open a little bit at a time and just press down the seam with my fingernail. And even though I've never made the trip around the world, since I've done the strip set method, this seemed to be something that worked really well for me. And so I'm going to make the entire strip set and finger press it, and then I will press it at the end with the iron and the iron board. So right now I'm just continuing to finger press this seam, and so you can see it lays pretty nicely. And now I'm going to add the third fabric, and there are several schools of thought. Some people think that you can just add it on the same side and they don't get warping, but when that happens to me, I get concerned about the strip set bowing a little bit in the middle. So what I'm going to do is, instead of stitching on the same end, I'm going to flip my piece around, and then I'm going to grab the next piece and I'm going to put it at the uneven edge. So I'm going to start this one here, and so hopefully the piece won't bow as we add more strips. So I'm going to stitch this one on, and then I'm going to do the same method as far as my pressing and everything to line everything up. Again, I'm going to finger press toward the odd. Whatever you decide, whether it's odds or evens, keep it that same way for every single strip set. And I think as you get ready to put all the pieces together after we get everything cut, the seams will nest nicely, and it's going to be pretty easy for you. That's what I'm hoping anyway. So I'm going to stitch this on, and then I may go ahead and finish the whole strip set, or just stop at intervals so that you can see how it works, and then we'll get to pressing. this was the first one that I finished, and then this is the one that I worked on for this video. These strip sets come together very quickly, and so I'm really happy about that. And I actually, for this video, I used my Pellon strip as a leader ender, but it really works well to just keep making the strip sets as your leader ender because it helps everything to come together a little bit faster. I was working on a third strip set here, and there's just one more strip left to go, and I was using this as the leader ender for this strip set. So you can see that these come together super quick, and if I think I would have like 4 more strip sets to go to get everything I need so far for this quilt. I'm not really sure yet, but I'm going to take a minute and press this bottom strip set. The main thing I'm concerned about are these the creases from where the pieces were folded. So so I want to press those out. I'm going to press this 3 times, once from the front, and then I'll flip it over and press from the back. Then I'll give it another press from the front to see how it looks. And so I'll do that, and I will come back and show you what we have. So here is my completed strip set. I have it kind of folded in half so that hopefully you can get a nice look at it. I love this pattern. Actually, this one's upside down. Let me flip it. Because the color number 1 is this blue that's next to the yellow, so I want to make sure that I always keep these oriented the right way. I am really pleased with how quickly these come together. If you've seen my other videos where I did strip piecing, the strips were much longer, like the strip sets were longer, like 14 or 13. So to make a 7 strip set is really easy, and it doesn't take a lot of time. The only thing that for me that I would think about if you're using pre-cuts is think about pressing that crease out at the beginning. I did think about it, but I just chose not to do it. It's completely up to you though, so consider that if you feel like that crease is going to bother you, because it is going to end up at about the same place every time. I do want to point out that the strips are not exactly even. I did alternate the direction of the seams, but you can see even with that some of the strips are longer than others. It is not going to make a difference once we get to the next step. And I have a question about the next step. I'm kind of excited, and I really honestly want to go ahead and cut up one of these strip sets now and place it and get it in the order. But I want to wait and get some feedback from you guys. So if you want to see that next step live, it probably would be in a couple weeks. So maybe that first Sunday in April, we could go live, or that weekend. So I don't know, I don't even know the dates, but not this weekend coming up, but the next weekend, maybe we can go live and do this step on camera. I am a little bit nervous about it, but it's really exciting to me to be able to share it with you. And I don't think that it's a hard step. And I think it would be exciting to see how it comes out live. Let me know if you're interested in that in the comments, and I will definitely consider it. It will take me a couple weeks to figure out how live works on YouTube. But I would love to do that for you if you're interested. Let's see, I think that's it. I'm excited about this trip around the world quilt, ready to see what happens. If you have any questions about what you've seen in this video, please leave them in the comments below. Thumbs up this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!